I was going to 3rd grade, my teacher called up my mom. She said, I hate to bother you, ma'am, but is there any way I could make you come? I know that this must be a nuisance, I swear I don't call every time one child cries. But ma'am, an 8-year-old never told me they wanna die. In the 4th grade I was bullied, not by the kids that I went to class with, no. I mean, I did get that too still, but it's much easier to let that shit go. No, it was by my teacher, who called me a failure, insulted me till it all felt numb, qualified each accomplishment with an admonishment. How did you do all of that when you're so dumb? And it took me years to learn she didn't say all of that, 'cause it's true. So if you're listening, missus, fuck you. You don't know me, you don't know me, even with all of the stories I tell. No, you don't know me, and I don't owe you that. I don't owe you getting to know me well. I owe you a silly song or a bad review or the bare minimum to entertain you, but you don't know me, and I don't want you to. In 7th grade I was awful, would whisper under my breath, oh, you're going to die. Obviously didn't mean it. Then again, this was after Columbine, so I'd be suspended, but stay in the school, be put in a room and be told to relax. I think in ISS I had 4 panic attacks. In 8th grade I heard a teacher tell my peer, as a kid you have no rights. I whispered something threatening to an adult who was roughly just my size. When she told my parents, I broke down and cried. Tried to run from my home, didn't make it far. The next day my dad woke me up early and told me get into the car. And he yelled at me, said I drove mom to the edge of suicide. That was the 3rd time I was traumatized. You don't know me, you don't know me, and there's nothing I could tell to make you know me like you know you, and you know that just as well. But you're wanting honesty in the things I say, so what kind of game do you wanna play? 'Cause you don't know me. Trust me, that's okay. My 2nd half year in college was when I realized I had been abused. I failed like half of my classes and honestly considered getting into booze. By the time it was over, I hated the man, but in my dreams it hadn't happened at all. But nowadays when I dream of him, I hope that he falls. Maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I went on what really was my very first date. A little less than a year later, I had what I considered to be my very first real break. And I don't have to tell you about anything more, I didn't have to tell you of it at all. And I can promise every breakup song that I sing will just be lies for the hall. And if they're listening to this song for reasons I can't comprehend in my hell, I wish you the best. I hope you're doing well. But for everyone else, you don't know me, you don't know me half as well as you think that you do. No, you don't know me, you don't know me. It's played out, but that just means that it's true. You don't know my life, or my tricks, or my game. You don't even know my legal name. No, you don't know me. You don't know me. No, you don't know me. You're better off that way.